The America East hoop schedule has been revealed. It's one of the things that the pandemic has changed a little bit, but one of the few things actually that we can actually get excited for. We'll have weekend series in America East conference play this year, and America East Senior Associate Commissioner Sean Tainch joins me now. Sean, why was this the format that we settled on?
Thanks, Sam. Obviously, as you said, an interesting and different year that took some time to work through, all the intricacies. The Board of Presidents approved this format. We had a lot of groups working on it, including the Basketball Sports Scenario Group, ultimately working to find a format that is going to best position us to be able to have a season with health and safety, obviously, at the forefront for student athletes, coaches, and staff. That will have to travel throughout the season. When you look at the actual format, the home series, it's something I'm really excited about, something different than my time here, than the traditional home and home, playing back-to-back days, really find out who the better team is in a 24-hour span most of the time. So really looking, this schedule prioritizes conference play, preserves the double round robin format. It also reduces travel, which from a health and safety standpoint is key. And then it also maintains or maximizes flexibility by moving games into December. It opens up some weekends later on in the season, just not knowing if you may need to make up some games. So, we're really excited about this format for this different year.
It'll be different not only in the sense of the format, but another team will appear on this schedule, the NJIT Highlanders. So we will now have 10 games on any given Saturday or Sunday. So that's 20 conference games in a single weekend, which is fantastic, all on ESPN Plus or ESPN3.
Sam, I want to ask you, what three matchups, back-to-backs on the women's side most excite you this year?
Well, Sean, it's hard not to think back to the postseason last year, of course, memorable for some unfortunate circumstances, but there were some great games before play was halted. So I look at those postseason rematches, if you will. So the first one on my radar, January 9th, that weekend, UAlbany will be at Stony Brook, close in proximity in the preseason polls. But UAlbany took Stony Brook, top seed, AP votes in the poll last year, to overtime. It was almost an 8-1 upset in the quarterfinals. And then later in the year, we'll have Maine versus UMass Lowell, February 13th and 14th. And that's another matchup that was featured in the postseason, the semifinals, the number 2 and number 3 seeds. UMass Lowell surprised a lot of people last year, and Maine, I think, is poised for another great year this year. And finally, that final weekend, we've got a great matchup between two teams that were 1 and 2 last year and may very well be again this year, Stony Brook and Maine, on the last weekend of the regular season, which could very well have a postseason atmosphere and postseason feel to it. Sean, what about the men? What are your top three?
Similar to you, Sam, we'll start off with last season and the game that didn't get to be played. I look forward to Hartford, Vermont. It's been a hard-fought rivalry the last few years. Hartford lost 2 of their key players from last year's team, and Malik Ellison and Tracy Carter, but they return a young core led by Hunter Marks that I think will be exciting. And we know Vermont is the king of the mountain and has been there for a long time. Steph Smith will lead that team. They seem to just, every year they lose players, but they'll have to make up for losing Anthony Lamb. But they've done that before with losing players of the year and just, recharge. Another one, I think teams will be near the top of the poll, UMBC and UNH, I think will be exciting games. But I look back today, in their last 12 meetings, all of them have been decided in single digits with 8 of those 6 points or less. So they've had really hard-fought games the last few years. So looking forward to those, some really good players on both sides there that will return. And then the last one, Stony Brook and UAlbany, just one of our better rivalries. I think both teams have some question marks, but both teams could really excite too. Stony Brook turning over a lot of their roster this year, but still I think we'll be poised to be there in the top half of the league. And then UAlbany trying to battle some injuries last year. We'll need to get some of their better players going. Cam Healy I think is poised to have a breakout season as a junior. So those are the ones that I'm really looking forward to. There are others too, but you only asked me 3, so I'll stick to the rules.
Yeah, seriously, basketball season fast approaching. We'll start the non-conference play November 25th is when that can get going. You can follow along all season long. You can watch on ESPN Plus, ESPN3. As Sean and I have mentioned, we'll also squeeze in that ESPN game for the men in February, and you can follow along on Twitter. Follow America East, and also our AE Hoops News dedicated hoops account.